We're almost there. Everybody hit that like, share the show. Be up in just one moment. All right. Substack is up, Facebook's up, Instagram is up. Hold on, maybe not. Nope, yep, it's up. Okay, good. Let's go. Woo! Let's see. Now I have a button for it right here. And then I don't have to. Hi, hey, there we go. How are you? Welcome to the show, everybody. It's Hal Sparks. Megaworldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, etc., etc., etc. Great show this morning with Tara Dublin, who is, in case you didn't know, the anchor, the headliner at the March rally in Portland today. And unless she didn't let you know that, which I hope you caught on. I hope you caught a piece of that. And then Dr. G, the body language and deception expert, was fantastic. I have to say, whenever somebody is on that has those skills, and welcome chat room, do you guys feel like if you ever meet someone like that, or you're like, what am I doing with my hands? I'm trying to tell the truth. I'm looking down because there's something crawling on my desk, not because I'm evading your eye gaze. I wasn't lying when I looked up and to the left. I was checking the ceiling fan to make sure. Right. I'm not overcompensating. This is how I naturally move. I'm trying to be completely forthcoming in everything that I say. Yeah. It was pretty great. Second hour. Good times. Oh yeah, Rudy Giuliani's in the hospital. Not good for a man of his age. Just curious. Just curious. The whole thing. Now, shit does happen. The story that we read this morning about him allegedly having stopped to help a woman who was a victim of domestic violence, and then he was, struck. He was rear-ended in traffic moments later. That reeks. Like that, and because it wasn't related to the accident, it's very curious as to why they would mention it if it wasn't like some. I mean, and by the way, I don't think he was driving. I doubt he drives. Was he? But that didn't seem to be from what we read to be the case. But yeah, he stopped off with a lady, and then got rear-ended. Look out! Look, we're not here to yuck anybody's yum. Well, some people. Okay, couple of things. One, where the fuck is Trump? Chat room, seriously, where the fuck is this dude? Don't pop up. When a guy can't help but like crawl up reporters' asses all the time and is constantly yammering, has been known for being the guy who just is up in the press's face all the time. And then what we get, 4 pictures and a video from 2 years ago. Yeah, I call bullshit. Like, this is. All right, hold on. I tried to look beforehand, and CSL, but I'm sure you saw some of this. Andrea, maybe you can find some. But I have been looking for any kind of like walking video, talking video that you can actually source from this weekend. Like legitimately go, yep. That, and goes beyond like AI, goes beyond like, especially in the age of AI, like creating an image like that, it'd be super easy, but also just taking an undated photo, just releasing it. There are always people, like when he shook hands with a bunch of people, all of them have their phones up, and they're all maggots. So why aren't they posting online? I saw him today. Here's my video of him. I saw him today, right? That's always the thing to me that stands out. Is like, well, if he went up and shook hands with a bunch of strangers, you know, right? Where the hell is he? Like, why aren't they posting their pictures of him? Hold on. I'm doing one more like scan, like right during the show itself. Let's see. Just like under Trump's scene. Media. Da, da, da. Yeah, like this is what we're getting, folks. This is what we're getting. All weekend long. Like just walks to the car, and that the car just is, trust me, is going to the golf course. And yeah, those pictures are from far away and not from the press pool. Exactly. Yeah, I gotta say, like this reeks. This is so telling, and no wonder you've got Benny. Wait, hold on, Benny Johnson. Look at Benny Johnson's thumbnail about this. Ooh, Benny's not mad, or Benny's not happy. He's mad that Trump is dead. Rumors go viral as president not seen in days. Libs cheer. Then Trump decides to. So, all right, maybe he dunks on us. Maybe Benny, is the dude. Maybe bend over, called up the Trump administration, called Trump on speed, and said, "Hey, man, can I come by the White House and shake hands with you, and we'll post the video of you saying something cute before you go golfing online." Something funny about, like where you say, "I want to assure everyone that Benny Johnson is not dead. Here he is." Right? That would be a funny flip of the whole thing. Anybody with half a fucking brain could dream that, like, press gag up in a moment. As a matter of fact, Gavin Newsom should go out and go, "I just want to make sure everybody knows that I'm alive and well. There's been some rumors circulating online, and I'm going to be spending some time with my family today and probably tomorrow or whatever. So I just want to tell everybody I'm alive." Just in case anything starts trending. You know what I mean? Like, it's not hard. It's not difficult. And chat room, before we jump into this, please like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, etc. We are, we're not cheering Trump's old. This is, I gotta say, I don't think he's dead, but I think he's undergoing, here's what I think. I think he's undergoing treatment. I think something's going on, like when he went to Walter Reed, and they're taking him out of circulation while it happens. Now, yes, I agree this is clickbait, this part right here. But the problem is he's responding to this rumor. This was everywhere. I mean, it's not just like him being, like, his pissed face is hilarious. And I don't know why Trump's eyes are blacked out in this Trump is dead thing. Like, wouldn't there be a black X over him? He's not in a 1930s stag film. Ugh. Death by stag film from Trump. It could happen. All right, so let's see what he says.
Here comes the story of the hurricane.
Oh, God.
The man the authorities came to.
All right, he's got to get like a copyright strike. Why does Trump... Hold on. Why does Trump have black hands? Um... why, why? Aaron Parnas has pics, but the ones he has were from photogs and from far away. Yeah, I still think they're walking him around, and he's going to, like, he can be out for a couple days, like a couple hours a day walking around. He's ambulatory during this, but shit. So this is okay. So Bendover needs to try harder.
What's up, guys? Spenny. Oh, how quickly the internet forgets that this was the resident of the White House. Not really the president, but definitely the resident of the White House.
He's sleeping at the beach. He was taking a nap at the beach. In full view of everyone, by the way. Not afraid to nap in front of the world because he knew he would wake up.
For the better part of 4 years. Now, was he alive? I'm not sure. If you Google search Joe Biden beach, you get a bunch of images like this.
Right, because that was the thing that stood out, not him walking around, none of that stuff, him resting on the beach. Yeah.
These are the images that they show you as Joe Biden beach. Now, I don't really know what's going on here, if he is having some type of medical episode or what. I mean, clearly, maybe.
Yes, a nap is a medical episode. The pulse goes down, the spine lengthens and straightens, the breathing becomes softer and deeper. Yeah, there's a lot of medical things that go on, just like in this, I guess in the same classification, taking a shit would also be a medical intervention.
That's what's going on. I don't know.
You mean the part where he's sitting up and looking out at the beach? That kind of, like, this is so fucking lazy.
But Joe Biden passing out, we have a lot of photos of that. And this one in particular.
He's not passing out. He's on the beach with his eyes closed, you dumb son of a bitch. Out in public, I might add. You have a lot of pictures of him. And at the end of all of those circumstances, he gets up and walks his ass off the beach, stupid. Do you have any idea how desperate they have to be to shovel this shit around?
Is my favorite. Let's go ahead and look here, shall we? Joe Biden soaks up the sun. That's that. I mean, that does look like you're literally lying in state. This looks like I've seen the wax figures, right, of like the old Soviet leaders that have been embalmed for years. They look more lifelike than.
It's a photograph, asshole. He gets up and goes home after this. He's an 80-year-old man. This is not helping you at all.
Joe Biden, but it's President Trump who's actually trending as dead today. Number one trend in the world right now is that President Trump is dead.
Listen to that sentence.
Number one trend in the world.
Hold on. Number one trend in the world.
Who's actually trending as dead today. Number one trend in the world right now is that President Trump is dead.
Well, I guess it's a lot of wishful thinking out there, I guess. Because it's not, oh God, Trump is dead. It's not, oh no, Trump is dead. It's not, pictures of Kevin from Home Alone. Trump is dead. It's Trump's dead. Trump, he's fucking dead. Like, look, he's a mess. And now they're not showing him. He's dead. Like, it's almost like, the weird part is it's the president of the United States, even though it's Donald Trump. Like, it's like, Trump is dead. Let's be fair. Let's be honest. Come on. That's the tone and tenor of it. There's no exclamation point, nothing. Just.
Libs have jumped on this viral trend and have been
Libs have
posting about it all day.
Goblin posting? goblin posting. Like, you mean like celebrating the idea? Is that a thing? Goblin posting? Is that what you're kind of doing with your stupid Biden on the beach picture fixation?
Starting last night, here's how it's.
Now, I don't know why Benny Johnson is looking at Joe Biden, like multiple images of him shirtless on the beach doing a video with no pants. Now, I suppose we could assume he's wearing pants. I'm not willing to do that. Obviously, he was scanning pictures of the former president and vice president, and he's not wearing pants as far as we know. So I think Benny has a lot to answer for in this particular.
Started Trump's health update and what happened. What happens when a sitting president dies? Look at the way that they frame this here on the Economic Times. The phrase "Trump is dead" has been trending on X.
Yeah, it's the #1 trend in the world. You just said so. Of course, somebody's going to cover it. They're not They're not dunking on it. They're just going, here's what would happen if it was true.
The past few days, drawing widespread attention, the trend did not emerge from any official announcement, but instead a mix of public speculation. The timing of the trend coincided with an interview that Vice President Vance gave with USA Today, where he said he's ready to step in and to the role of commander-in-chief.
Yeah, the timing was very curious, especially considering that Peter Thiel, his puppet master, believes we all outlive our usefulness in general somewhere around 60, unless you're him.
Chief, if a terrible tragedy were to occur. Trump is 79. President Trump was diagnosed with
And what's the terrible tragedy? That he makes it to 80?
chronic venous insufficiency after visible swelling and bruises. How serious is it? Distasteful rumors about the death of the U.S. president trended on social media.
Look at all the fucking... Hold on. Wait 1 second real quick. Look at all the fucking tabs this asshole has up. These are all Twitter posts. Look at that. That's all XXXXXXXXXXXXX. Like, what does this fucker do all day? God damn, dude. Is it part of his contract that he's not allowed to have an original thought? That he's just got to kind of like parrot this stuff backwards and emote over it?
The MAGA chief remained out of the public eye for 72 hours. So trending hashtags like Trump has died, where is Trump, and is he dead trended on X because these people are literal goblins.
Excuse me, right-wingers were doing it too. Where the fuck is he?
Speculations and rumors about the 79-year-old were triggered by concerns about his health over the past week. TV cameras have shown him with bruises and purple patches on his hands and swollen legs. With chronic venous insufficiency, CVI, this is something that they announced, unlike what happened with Joe Biden, where they kept terminal cancer away from the American people.
Terminal cancer? The fuck are you talking about? He's an 80-year-old man with prostate cancer. There almost aren't any 80-year-old men without prostate cancer. He's... a lot of other shit's going to kill him before prostate cancer does. What the fuck are you talking about?
He has stage 5 terminal cancer, Joe Biden does. He doesn't have long to live. That's just a matter of fact.
And he's wasting all that time with family on the beach, going to church and stuff? Like, what's wrong with this dude?
Nonetheless, people live with chronic venous insufficiency. It just means that you don't have optimal blood flow back and forth.
Yeah, that's all it is. Just don't. Right, thanks, man. You don't have optimal blood flow. It's not bad. It's just suboptimal. Dude, you just believe the press releases. That's your gig, right? That's what you do. You can accuse everybody of just, taking, Biden's health for granted and not being open about his shortcomings when he was old after, by the way, 7 flights back and forth to Europe and no time off like anybody would. Last year, specifically right before the debate, when he should have taken a week off. That never mind. But this guy's, it's just chronic vein something or other. They told us what it was, and it's nothing.
Right. You can treat it, obviously.
Obviously, you could treat it with a bike pump and some sump grease and a pair of needle-nose pliers.
Trump is the oldest person.
You can treat it. Can I? Can I? You can treat it.
Serve a second term. He's faced intensifying scrutiny of his cognitive fitness. Really.
I'm sorry, his cognitive fitness? Sorry.
To serve a second term, he's faced intensifying scrutiny of his cognitive fitness.
His, really? I'm concerned about your cognitive fitness right now. Luckily, we have someone like Benny Johnson here to answer all the questions about Trump's cognitive fitness. Way to really just batten down the hatches there, buddy. I think everybody feels a lot more secure about this whole fucking thing. And it's cognitive fitness. What the shit?
This person to serve a second term, he's faced intensifying scrutiny of his cognitive fitness.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know where to look to start. Where do you start looking for the cognitive fitness sniff test? Benny was not prepared to have to do this cleanup today. He was just not. He brought the wrong mop for this spill.
Really?
What could possibly be wrong with his cognitive fitness? His Sisyphus, his syphilis.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Whatever. Like, is there anything wrong with his cognitive fitness? Try, listen to this mess. Hold on.
Obviously. Trump is the oldest person to serve a second term. He's faced intensifying scrutiny of his cognitive fitness. Really? Oh, okay.
Really? Okay, fine. You know what I have to say to that? Okay. Test my cognitive fitness. Won't you fucking yourself? Chat room, I want to take a moment, if I can, to talk for a moment, to give a cautionary warning to everyone to make sure that you check the cognitive fitness of your loved ones, of everyone in your orbit. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't hurt to walk up to absolute strangers and ask them, how is your cognitive fitness? And if you don't get a good answer from them, I would call the police and have them institutionalized, because clearly cognitive fitness is nothing to try to write down, because I'm not sure how many C's, S's, K's, and F's are in it. Yeah, I gotta, yeah. I don't see anything wrong with his cognitive fitness. Benny, come on, man. Hold on, what is this?
Action replays in magnified fortune.
Okay, so there's what's cognitive fitness? Don't worry about it, man. He's got it. He's good.
Free health care for illegal... look.
You know what I mean? Like, there's never been... Okay. His cognitive fitness? Really?
Our army manned the airport. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do.
Well, I mean, look, cognitive fitness is relative.
To me, Corona means Italy.
Or maybe not.
Let's go ahead and look at what these goblins have posted. So,
these terrible goblins. Kangman Lee, they want Trump dead so badly. If you support him, they feel the same way about you. Never forget about this and what they're saying. Trump's dead. So a tweet of a post about the trend itself.
Trump is dead is the #1 trending on Twitter. They want Trump dead so badly. You support him. They feel the same way about you. Never forget this. Never forget what we were up against. I'm a journalist, so trust me when I say Donald Trump has died. Okay, says journalist. By the way, the numbers on these things. This is seen by
says journalism. What? Sorry, who said it? What?
I say Donald Trump has died. Okay, says journalist. By the way, the numbers on these things. This is seen by 1 million people. Where is Trump? He hasn't been seen.
What? Huh? Hold on.
Journalist. By the way, the numbers on these things. This is seen by 1 million people.
Yeah, and you turned off the community notes. This account is not a reporter, is probably the first thing it fucking says.
Where is Trump? He hasn't been seen in public for 3 days. He doesn't have a public event scheduled today, Sunday, or Monday. Did he go bye-bye like the Epstein files? We need answers now. Where's the president? And he posts photos of his hand. By the way, look.
By the way, what?
This is what happens when you have blood vessels burst in your hand that look like that. You have a lot of old.
Yes. Yeah. And that doesn't happen to everybody.
What happens when you have blood vessels burst in your hand that look like that. You have a lot of older people that have their hands look like this. Many.
Jesus Christ. Wow. That's what happens with it. Yes, I know how a bruise fucking works, dummy. Listen to that one more time. Like, this is, imagine looking at this picture. And by the way, you have to do this in context of them accusing Joe, everybody of covering up Joe Biden's cognitive shortcomings and yada, yada, yada. And listen, and look at his eyes. He's looking at the bruise and the ankle right that second. And I don't know how much time he spent looking at it before. I'm sure he's seen it. But you could, you can't unsee it, dude.
His hand, by the way, look. This is what happens when you have blood vessels burst in your hand that look like that. You have a lot of older people that have their hands.
Oh, he almost said old, and then he says older. Burst in your hand. What do you mean? Hold on. Missing a port, one thing, giving him a bruise because they were putting a needle in his hand. That's probably the most logical explanation. The bullshit story from the White House is that he gets that bruise shaking hand. Benny just thinks there's fucking veins bursting under his skin. That makes everybody feel better. Is that part of the chronic venous insufficiency? Like, his veins are insufficiently turgid and cannot contain the blood within them, so they just pop? What the fuck?
They just explode.
Uh-huh. I guess so.
Look like this. Many on social media are sharing this photo. Photo of President Trump in the hospital bed. I guess they cut his legs off or something. It's in bed.
Yeah, it's a shot from the new Metallica 1 video where they replaced the Johnny Get Your Gun, Johnny Got His Gun character.
This is a bed for ants. I find it disgusting and unfunny. Me liking every Trump is dead tweet. People really are goblins. Anyone celebrating tonight because they think Trump is dead is now on a government watch list.
Yeah, way to fight the deep state and the surveillance state and lawfare. So anybody who would be happy this fucker is dead is on a government watch list, not because they did it, but because they're standing back while he dies of natural causes and applauding that fact because they hate his fucking guts. Benny agrees with the idea that they should be put in jail for feeling that way. Okay.
People are spamming, "Where is Donald Trump?" and "Trump is dead." Our president is a certified shit poster and still always active on social media. And people are saying that because President Trump, somebody wake me up when Donald Trump is pronounced dead. I mean, this is like my entire timeline. Guys, if Trump is dead tonight, I'll text my ex. Okay.
That's if hell is frozen over. That either they're saying they'll be happy to do it, like, I'm going to get back together, like, the world will be right again after all this, or bullshit.
Okay. How it feels when nobody knows if Trump is dead or alive.
Show me on the dolphin where the bad post hurt you. The name is Benadryl wife, dummy.
They are demon, these people. Me liking every Donald Trump is dead tweet.
You just showed a bunch of pictures of Biden on the beach celebrating the fact that he has terminal cancer, according to you, and that he looks like a cadaver. Fuck you.
There's so many of these. This is my entire timeline. President
Uh-huh.
Trump goes missing from the public. Trump is dead, trending on X. He has no public events scheduled today or tomorrow. Do you know what I think is hilarious? Joe Biden would go missing for weeks at a time, and the mainstream media wouldn't say anything.
No, he didn't. He did not go missing for weeks at a time. He did not. Not ever. Didn't do it. Not like this, certainly.
Trump is probably resting or playing golf.
Uh-huh. Resting in state.
President Trump has no public events scheduled today or over the weekend. Well, it is a holiday weekend.
Yeah. Guy can't have a fucking holiday. It's Labor Day. You think Republicans give a shit about labor? Shut up. It is a holiday weekend. I mean, come on.
Maybe he's working on something really big.
Oh, right. At the golf course. He's working on something really big. Like his inflamed gallbladder? What are you talking about?
Curiosity is rising. Trump hasn't been seen in 3 days. I mean, like, Joe Biden would go literal weeks without...
No, he literally wouldn't. I don't know what the fuck this is. Like, and this will get long. Like, we didn't see him for 6 months. Joe Biden never showed up to the White House the entire time he was president.
Being seen. President Trump was just with Vladimir Putin in Alaska. And
now he's sick and maybe dying. Coincidence? You know, this wouldn't be the first person that's happened to, dummy. That's a terrible thing to bring up, shithead.
with all the leaders of Europe sitting around his desk. He was
Yes, has anybody called to check on their health?
hosting a youth group bonfire. They were all like sitting there, like listening to Trump tell stories.
Oh.
Trump has been negotiating peace around the world, and
No, he hasn't. Steve Witkoff has been flying around the world guaranteeing it won't happen.
an absolute rock.
Man, the fucking he has been, guys, he's been so doing stuff. Shit. Look at that.
Rocketing economy here at home, for Americans at least.
Sorry, the skyrocketing economy?
Trump has been negotiating peace around the world, and
Look at the fucking blinks and stuff. Where's Dr. G when I need Dr. G? Somebody send this clip of Benny Johnson to Dr. G. Holy shit.
an absolute rocketing economy.
It's awesome. God, I wish I still had that tenant Russian money right now.
Here at home, for Americans at least, deporting hundreds of thousands, I think soon to be millions.
Dude, they haven't gotten into hundreds of thousands. He's still under Biden's numbers. What the fuck is wrong with you? Soon to be millions. Like, totally. It's like fucking gonna happen, bro. Eventually. Like, I called them. They said 2 weeks ago. And probably I misheard them. And so it's just 2 weeks.
And he's on TV like 7 times a day. Maybe that is the fact. Maybe that's people are just like spoiled for choice when it comes to Trump.
That's what it is. Yeah. They're just so spoiled. He's trained them with this whole transparency and accessibility thing. Him yammering on, and then all of a sudden, boom, radio silence. And by the way, it wasn't 3 days. It's been since last Tuesday. The shit posting continues because he's got people in his staff who write on his sites all the time. They catalog them. When they're sitting around, when he's talking in meetings, they take chunks of what he's saying and they show them to him, and he goes, yeah, and then they post them at 2 o'clock in the morning, so his enemies think he never sleeps.
He appears so much that when he takes a day off, or
Yeah, guys, come on. He's taking a day off because of the roaring economy and because he's negotiating peace and he's working on something really big. So he's taking a couple days off, even though he always takes days off, and he golfs the fuck out of those days off. And maybe he just needs a break from golf. You ever think of that? You ever think maybe after all these years, he's like, maybe tennis, but he doesn't want to practice in front of everybody. So they've got a big, tent up around the tennis courts at the White House, not because they've set up a triage center where they can have him, on round the clock watch like Dave, but because he wants to learn in secret.
what has to be President Trump simply working on something.
Yeah, guys, he's simply working on something. Just because they don't put down that he's working on anything doesn't mean he's not working on something, okay? Trump works in mysterious ways.
There you go. You can see here, this is the president's schedule every single day. It says that Trump has no events.
Uh-huh. None. Yeah. Especially on a, national holiday where a lot of presidents go and they talk to the, workers. Now, he's a lame duck and he's not running for election again, so that's not his fucking problem. And you could argue that a smart ploy would be to send J.D. Vance out to do little speeches, but they're not doing that either, insofar as I know. Hold on. That's a good question. Hey, CSL or Andrea, yeah, but Biden is literally everyone's sunbathing. I know, like, Benny doesn't go out. He doesn't have friends. What are you talking about? And the pictures that Aaron Parnas has up are the ones that I've seen everywhere of him going in the car. They look exactly like the Walter Reed ones. Yeah. Okay, hold on. You would send out J.D. Vance, wouldn't you? It's Labor Day. You're a lame duck president. The people already know you love them. So, but you want to, continue the party, continue your, you want to prep for the next round of elections, which are only a few years away and take a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of convincing. So you would send J.D. Vance out on like Labor Day weekend. He could go on a vacation day for one of his, because he's fucking vice president. I mean, it's not like he's on the fucking phones, all day long. But he could go on Labor Day or on the Sunday, go to church, and then on Monday go out and give a speech. And go, the Trump administration cares about this and this and that, to prep him for 2028, to start helping him get his bones for the election, right? I don't see him doing that. I as far as I know, J.D. Vance isn't out and about either. You know who they do have out? This is how shitty things are. Let me see one thing real quick. I'll go over to here. They put Stephen Miller out twice. And they have... Who the fuck? They have... They brought Peter Navarro back out on Fox News to talk about the tariffs. That's fucked up. Do you know how bad? Do you have any idea how bad things have to be to send Navarro back out? Shit, Trump was the one vetoing him. You could argue that Peter Navarro being allowed to speak on TV is the biggest sign that Trump is dead that we've seen.
So this is what everyone's freaking out about.
They're not. No, this is on top of everything else. It's gathering steam because the guy who can't, the most dangerous place in the world is between him and a microphone, has basically been silent since Tuesday of last week. Has no events all weekend. Has only posted a couple of still pictures like he's fucking Bigfoot. And nobody in his circle is out there beating their chest going, dude's fine. We were just talking yesterday. Stop it. He's working on stuff and I'm working on stuff. This isn't, always about PR. I mean, and Vance is one, interview. He's like, yeah, no, I can step in immediately if something terrible happened. Like he continues to age rapidly in front of our very eyes.
But I think this is just because President Trump works so damn hard that people are shocked when he either takes time for himself.
Guys, it's just meat time, okay? Maybe he's in a bubble bath. Sorry, I just made myself throw up in my mouth a little bit with the idea of Trump in a bubble bath.
People speculate that it's like playing golf or whatever.
Look at him. This is not my... I don't think Benny likes being in an information hole. He's a built propagandist. He's just give him the line and the materials to sell it, and he's good. But don't make him, fish the reality out of nowhere. Don't make him come up with the stuff on his own. It's not gonna work. This dude is fucking miserable. And it's not, and I would like to remind everybody, this motherfucker has a direct line to the White House. He and Charlie Kirk and all these motherfuckers, they can call anybody up and find out exactly what's happening. And they're hearing nothing.
being with his family, or when
Ooh, tongue jut. I been hanging around Dr. G too much. Look at the hanging out with his family. It's like, you might as well just do a raspberry right afterwards. Maybe he's hanging out with family. We know that's not true.
that is like playing golf or whatever, being with his family, or when he's working on something really big and he needs
Yeah.
absolute focus.
Yeah, he needs absolute focus, guys. He's working on something really big that has nothing to do with all the stuff that's really big that's going on right now that he's been working on behind the scenes in this. You know, in front of the scenes, I guess.
Peace in Ukraine? Probably. Donald Trump haven't been seen in public in 3 days. The White House press pool didn't see him once today. He has no public event scheduled Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. Where is Donald Trump? They're all screaming. Where is he? President vanishes from public view. Now the president has disappeared from the spotlight. What aren't we being told? Trump has no public event scheduled this week. Don't believe he was even seen today either, says this foreign policy Substack lady.
Yeah, what the fuck, Substack lady? Substack lady! Substack lady! That's the fucking Substack lady. What do you know?
Got it.
Got it.
Okay. Random bruises on his body, hasn't been seen in public, has no event scheduled. JD Vance randomly talking about taking over the presidency. Get ready. Donald Trump hasn't been seen. Where is he? Who's running the country? President Trump has no public events. This is it. Everyone freaking out about this. And President Trump.
First of all, let's just start with one thing. Everyone freaking out about this is this collection of fucking Twitter posts that he is rando farmed to make his point, kind of, or something. Like he just opens another tab, scrolls to that one, opens another tab, looks for another Trump tweet he can reference on the show, moves to another one. This is like, can I just talk for a moment about how fucking lazy this is? And the idea that, like, you're watching someone create their own confirmation bias right before your very eyes. He's feeding himself a steady diet of supporters freaking out and sort of attacking, not freaking out, attacking people who are bringing it up. And then, like, liberal posts were like, what the fuck? None of this is even, like, none of it's consequential, right? It's not from the White House. It's not, you know, it's just news sources, people kind of fielding back and forth. And the speculation is caused by the fact that this motherfucker is gone. He's just out of public view. And it's odd for him. And that would be enough. You could just go, it's odd if the president is out of public view. I understand this. I reached out to my White House sources and they went, I couldn't hear anything over the crying, and then they hung up. That's basically his alternate broadcast for today. But look at this. Just think about this as how you prep for your fucking show. Look at that. Just single posts. And he just reads them and goes, whatever. And this bullshit. And this lady. And then what are they even talking about?
Trump does the single funniest thing ever. President Trump just, like, strolls out of the White House in front.
No, he didn't stroll out of the White House. Did you see him stroll out of the White House? No, you saw his fucking head like a fucking shot of an alligator in Florida through two windows. Strolls. Hey, real quick. Was he rolling an oxygen tank behind him? Was anybody carrying a medical device behind him as he got into his vehicle that was attached to him? What? Oh, you couldn't see because the trucks were parked in such a way that you couldn't see him from tits down? Oh, poop picker rubber, thank you. What about them throwing shit out the window? Well, poop picker rubber, you'd be the expert on that. And I think they're, unless that's a specific excrement flinging thing, I think, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I feel like part of me just goes, the Epstein shit's coming out. He knows the victims are going to be called tomorrow. And he's just having a fucking attack.
Of everyone.
He's just he's okay. He's got all the markings for anxiety caused by like weight and ill health. When there's a lot of pressure on your lungs and a lot of pressure on your liver because you're overweight or you sit a lot or poorly and your posture is shit and all that kind of stuff, it compresses your internal organs, especially your lungs and your heart, which can make you panic the same way you would if you were drowning or somebody was choking you. Your body just has this fight or flight response, and if you live in that fight or flight window all the time, it becomes almost normal when you have that kind of stress on you, just physical stress from being in ill health. So it's very possible Trump could be having heart attacks or strokes or both, or massive fucking panic attacks. And this is a moment, if I may, chat room, if I could. Do yourself a favor. The next time you find yourself scrolling on your phone, please remember to sit up straight, pull in your diaphragm, and breathe deeply. Because what you see online and what you're experiencing online doesn't just enter your brain in its natural state. It filters through the feelings that you are having. And if you are choking off oxygen from your body and sitting with bad posture like this, it triggers your panic response. You can only breathe in the upper part of your lungs, and that's the dirtiest, most inefficient way of breathing. And so it's better if you sit up straight. There you go. TikTok cringe content viral from today showing several large... Oh, the shit being thrown out of the windows. Okay, hold on. Let's see if I can bring this up. Oh, I see. Right. So this is from a viral video from today showing several large black bags being thrown from a second-story window of the White House. What is he, climbing out? There you go. How is Melania going through the Epstein files? Just start throwing his shit out the window? Yeah, so that's what they were talking. That's what Poo Picker Up was talking about. I mean, are we going to hear anything from the QAnon folks? The deep state is trying to escape from whatever. Oh, man. Hold on. Here we go. Blink back to here. That's amazing, though.
In a white polo and a red MAGA hat with his granddaughter in order to, you guessed it, hit the links.
Yeah, that's not from today.
Here he is. Posted on social media. This is President Trump golfing at his golf course. This is from today.
Nope.
President Trump and his granddaughter, Kai.
No, it's not. It's video of him golfing and video of her golfing.
Hitting the greens. Trump walking around, chilling out, letting them rip, laughing, swinging, greeting his fans.
Hello. Nice to meet you, sir. Thank you, Hi, Mr. President.
So funny.
Yeah, that's the one that got
Sorry,
community
Lynn.
noted.
President Trump has been spotted alive and well. He's hitting the links today. Fever dream is over. Seek help with your TDS. This is the pool saying President Trump is en route to the golf course. Trump's
also, by the way, he wears that outfit all the time, and then you can post video from other time. And wait, was that the one also? Let me see. Yeah, there are palm trees in Bedminster. Yeah, that looks like they're mixing and matching.
Trump has been spotted alive and well. He's hitting the links today. Fever dream is over. Seek help with your TDS. This is the pool saying President Trump is en route to the golf course. Trump's okay. He's playing golf this morning. President Trump playing golf. He's just fine. President Trump.
No, I didn't see him playing golf. I saw a video of him hitting golf balls edited together from God knows when and God knows how long ago.
Played golf. These people, they really are goblins, these people. Look at this trend. Look at how many tweets on this trend. There are like millions of tweets on
Hang on.
this trend. For people
That's
wishing
it. That's his granddaughter, right? Is that who he's golfing
Trump was
with?
dead. I mean, he already survived multiple assassination attempts. This is who these.
No, he didn't.
I mean, these people, they really are monsters. Trump is.
Hold on, back up. Yeah. Blue skirt.
Not
White
dead.
skirt.
It's curious. Y'all never wondered this about when Biden would disappear for weeks. He's out.
Right. Sorry, she changed skirts between. For real. What are you guys even doing? That's allegedly her today. These are the pictures that allegedly show him going there. And this is the video. Look at her shoes. Look at her skirt. Look at her hat. Look at the fucking change in trees. And also he wears, let's see, black pants is that. So they picked his outfit based on where he was going. Like, or where they were going to, how they were going to edit together the stuff. I mean, I don't see his shoes might have changed or whatever. I got to say,
Curious.
Did you guys notice that, chat room? Anybody? Am I? Nobody's pointing that out? His outfit's different. Her outfit's different. The trees changed. Like, this just sounds like they're setting up a video. That makes it even more fucking sketchy. You're not helping.
Y'all never wondered this about when Biden would disappear for weeks. He's out golfing. Here's his granddaughter. Here's Trump.
Yeah. You notice anything different about her, Benny? Between here and the golf course? No?
Getting ready to roll. President Trump. Biden disappeared for a week on stretch, reemerges with whooping
Sorry, Biden disappears for weeks on stretch. For weeks at a stretch. No, he didn't.
cough, deepened dementia, and different earlobes. Fit as a fiddle. Trump posts photo.
Oh, that's the whole, like, he's quoting people who think Biden was replaced by a clone. A sicker clone. So that, one of my favorite QAnon things is they replaced Hillary and Joe Biden with clones who are getting sick and dying.
Photos instead of appearing on camera for 3 days. He's dead. Sound the horn of Gondor. Who started the Trump is dead nonsense? You want to know where is Trump? He's living rent-free in your empty heads, as ever. Here's President Trump. Another.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they picked the outfit to match what he was wearing the last time they golfed together, but they forgot to tell her.
Pick of him snapped as he wanders out to his vehicle. I think.
Yes, wandering is a good choice of words.
The other grandson with him. Trump just chilling, man.
Nope.
Alive today. Wow. Oh,
yeah, she just had a whole outfit change and everything on there.
Thought it was all over.
Huh.
They really are like evil goblins. They really are the most evil people. So here's President Trump when everyone's trending Trump is dead, and this is Joe Biden. Unlike
yeah, Biden's not the sitting president of the United States, dummy.
Any random Tuesday. Joe.
Also, just like any person at the fucking beach, you odd. Like, it's so weird. It's so weird. Like, this is the fallback. Is this because you don't want to show Obama at the beach or Gavin Newsom at the beach? You want to start this whole Trump 2028? Guess who gets to run again too?
Biden looked like this, but Joe Biden is dead. Never trying to. And that's the other thing that I think is.
Yeah, because he got up and walked away, you dumb motherfucker, and people could see him. This is a still photo, you shit.
Really important here. Like, I would never have trended that. I don't want, like, I would never celebrate that. Yes, Joe Biden's going to die. We're all going to die. Joe Biden has terminal stage 5 cancer metastasized to the bones. That's a death sentence. And
Yeah, and he's not president of the United States. And even if he did, he would have survived his term if that was the only thing wrong with him.
medical professional will tell you that. They kept that away from the American people.
Yeah, and he's still alive. He would have survived his term. Doesn't affect your cognitive ability to have fucking prostate cancer, stupid.
So that's just what's going to happen. Nature's going to
And we voted for Harris.
take its course. And let me tell you, we will not be celebrating that because we still have our basic humanity.
Asshole. The belief that, like, some people are definitely tap dancing at the idea of Trump being dead because he's a pussy grabbing rapist. But that's not what's happening there. Because here, let me jump to this, if I may, chat room. This is him covering for this. Let's see. I suppose on here I go here. Let's see. Trump is dead. Yeah, let's see if they're... It's a bunch of, like... Yeah. Latest. Yeah, so this is the kind of stuff that you're seeing on there. I mean, even as a still, not looking good, but they're all freaking out about it. They're like their own people. You know, Trump leaves White House. No way Trump is tweeting today. He's the Walking Dead. Trump leaves White House this morning, according to Getty Images. Again, he left and went to Walter Reed before. Like, would you really put it beyond them to craft a video and a fake hangout with his grandchild, pretending that they went golfing, and then posted a video, you know, to cover that fact, and then sent him to Walter Reed? What's going on? That he looks awful. Trump is dead goes viral. Look, I'm Benny Johnson. It's how you do show. I'm scrolling through Twitter. It says this. It says this. And then it said this. Oh. And this is kind of what I was talking about. Like, why the red cap images are suspicious. ChatGPT. The red cap frame from the helix and lobule look different in the curvature. Jawline silhouette. The red cap subject's jawline looks narrower in the chin for most than in confirmed Trump side profiles. The lighting cap shows this observation based on compelling pressable previews. Based on the reverse image search and anatomical feature comparison, it is likely that the individual in the white cap golf photos from August 30th, 2020 is not Donald Trump. The differences in ear shape, jawline, chin, and nose are notable and suggest that the person depicted may be a body double or someone else entirely. If you require further analysis or assistance, so somebody ran the pictures of him through from the day through these guys. Ran this through ChatGPT and said, "Is that a Trump body double?" Who is that, though? Man. And again, like, do I think he's dead? No. Do I think he's there? You know, he's probably undergoing treatment for some pretty awful shit. Yeah. Now let me jump on to the next piece, because it goes to everybody's favorite white Naziist, Nick Fuentes, who is a rising star among the maggots, ladies and gentlemen. A rising star. And he was banned off of YouTube, I guess a couple of years ago. and this is long, so we won't watch all of it. But I just want you to get an idea of like, this is the rising discontent that is flowing in the right wing. And the fact that Nick Fuentes can carry this stuff as far as he can shows just how much people are telling, are reading into like Tucker and Candace Owens' defense of him and calling bullshit.
And I want to get into this visa situation, which is deeply related to all of this. Our featured story tonight is about a new initiative from the Trump administration. The announcement came down today from the U.S. State Department that the Trump administration will be reviewing all 55 million visas in the United States. They're going to look at 55 million people that currently have a visa, every kind of visa, and they're going to look for basically people that need to be deported, people that need to have their visas revoked and then removed from.
Why would you need to do that if there are 25 million fuckers running around the country? Why, if we're up to our ass in criminal psychopath immigrants from other countries that escaped mental institutions and came up to the United States to go on a stabbing spree, if there are that many of them, why would you have to do visa reviews to find any?
The country, people that have committed crimes, people that have overstayed their visa.
Not talking to you, Canada, you Canadian bastards. Take off, eh?
Visa has expired. And one other notable category, people that materially supported terrorism, which is a strange one. And this is the story from the New York Times. Or pardon me, this is from The Hill.
Oh, by the way, why he hates this is because he thinks those that materially supported terrorism will qualify as anyone who criticized Israel, which is clearly what the White House is doing. And since Nick Fuentes is in this kind of like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, if anybody gets shut down for criticizing Israel, suddenly they're on Team Whitey.
It says, quote, the State Department said on Thursday that it is vetting more than 55 million U.S. visa holders for deportable offenses, including overstays, criminal activity, and engagement in any form of terrorist activity. How is it real? How did we let this happen, guys?
You didn't let it happen, dumb fuck. You made it happen. Stop pretending you didn't know this was coming. I mean, I have no idea how he's coping with this business, but all the right-wingers were like, what is he doing? Like, what he said he would do, you dumb sons of bitches.
I mean, I saw it coming a mile away. How did you let this happen?
Oh, okay, so now it's his audience's fault.
The department said that all U.S. visa holders, which include international students and tourists, will go through continuous vetting. A State Department spokesperson told The Hill, quote, the State Department revokes visas anytime there are indications of a potential ineligibility, which includes things like an indicator of overstays, criminal activity, threats to public safety, engaging in any form of terrorist activity, or providing support to a terrorist organization like Hamas. Like Hamas. Like Hamas. You know, it's sort of funny how these statements always start out. It always sounds like a white person saying it. They say, well, you see here, the State Department, the United States
Sounds like a white person said it.
State Department under President Trump will make sure to deport any criminal illegal aliens and anyone that commits any form of support for terrorism, and groups like Hamas and Hezbollah and Iran. Like, do you notice how it always goes in that direction? It's like a transformation, like a time-lapse transformation in front of your eyes. You have like a State Department spokesperson. It's a based WASP, legacy American, heritage American. He looks like George Washington. He looks like Doug Burgum. Well, listen up, left-wing scum. In the second administration of President Donald Trump, Heritage America is back. we're deporting every criminal illegal alien, and we're also going to work to deport anyone that supports Hamas and Hezbollah, anyone that gives support to Iran, and the terrorists, anyone that's anti-Semitic, anyone that denies the Holocaust.
Yeah. By the way, that's why he's upset, is because like he's going to lose friends out of this. The Hamas part is just kind of like and Hezbollah and stuff, like they support it because they want Jews in Israel gone, not because they think there's an imbalance of power. They don't give a fuck about the cause of those two. They just they're opportunistic in this regard because they also believe that the Holocaust didn't happen and that kind of stuff. So yeah, and is the plant behind him? Yes, it is. It's a fake plant. I mean, we don't need to watch any more of that, but you get the idea that like he was banned off YouTube, and then there's a bunch of channels that are just playing his clips. That dude who is like this clip, if you see that guy in the corner, that's what's happening now. There's like these right-wing influencers or wannabe influencers on YouTube that are just playing his clips, and then they comment on them afterwards. So they're basically like reposting or carrying him onto YouTube so that his message still gets out there, because they're the anti-Tucker establishment crowd. Now, why would Trump be having... here's the other one. I know this one looks like clickbait. We're going to delve into this a little bit as well. This is Pat Gray, because they painted over the Pulse nightclub crosswalk. And that's his thumbnail. No more gays. That's the whole thing. Also, if I may, if you have an either or in your life, and I don't know how this fucking came up, Richard Marx, who is awesome, had on Paul Stanley, who is awesome, and had a great conversation on his show. And then, by comparison, Bill Maher had on Woody Allen. Barf. All right. And then, is this the...
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, for sitting down today with USA.
Okay, so this is the interview that set everybody off 4 days ago, and then Trump disappeared. So let's be abundantly clear. When asked this question, Trump had been effectively out of sight for 3 days. And then, after this interview, he hasn't been seen until this bullshit fake golf outing today.
And we'll be discussing the first 200 days of your vice presidency and your plans for the fall. But first, I do want to get your response to some breaking news and current events, including President Donald Trump's attempt to fire Lisa Cook from the Federal Reserve's Board of Governors. He says it's over alleged mortgage fraud, but she has not been charged with a crime. Is this about forcing the Fed to cut interest rates?
Well, a couple of things here. So first of all, I don't think anybody doubts that Lisa Cook committed some mortgage fraud. Whether a local authority decides to prosecute or federal authorities prosecute, or of course the president doesn't get involved in those decisions. But she made a mistake, and she potentially made a criminal mistake. And the question is, do we want a person who makes a mistake like that to be a person who sits on the Federal Reserve Board, which makes important monetary policy for the entire country? I think that...
Your boss is a rapist. Secondly, you think she's never mind the Republican senators and House members that are accused of the exact same thing. Substack's not up right now. It should be, but it's being wonky. So
position should be held to the highest possible standard. So whether it's criminal, whether it's intentional or not, we know that this is a person, I think, who doesn't meet the standard that we should expect for the Federal Reserve, which is why the president...
No, you don't, because she hasn't been charged with anything. So you're just talking out of your ass.
Fired her. And he does have the legal right to fire her. And this goes into a second,
No, he doesn't.
A much more fundamental question. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that Lisa Cook had done absolutely nothing wrong. Isn't it a little preposterous to say that the President of the United States, the elected President of the United States, working, of course, in concert with Congress, doesn't have the ability to make these determinations?
No, he can't fire senators either. He can't fire SCOTUS members. He can't ask them to step down. We have terms for a reason. He can't walk in and fire judges that were appointed by the last administration if their term is through his term. It's not how it works. You can't do it. Not without cause.
People who are saying the president has no authority here, what
He has no authority.
they're effectively saying is that 7 economists and lawyers should be able to make an incredibly critical decision for the American people with no Democratic input.
You have Democratic input before and after their terms, unless one of them is impeached for cause, just like a judge.
I thought the people controlled this country, that people.
Yeah, they do. And one of the things we want is to make sure that it isn't thrown into a fucking chipper shredder every time somebody is newly elected, and that elections have consequences.
Made the determinations in this country through their elected representatives, including the President of the United States. I don't think that we allow
What the fuck was that, by the way? Him sitting in a big red chair?
bureaucrats
Is he signing the eyes wide shut thank you cards?
to sit from on high and make decisions about monetary policy and interest rates without any input from the people that were elected to serve the American people. And
They're not supposed to. They're supposed to be independent. They're supposed to go on the data, not on like being forced to interpret the data in a way that would be preferential to your political aims.
And I think that's fundamentally what this is about. Who makes the decisions about this country?
The voters. And in the case of the Fed, the consumers and the job market. You want to fix the Fed? Fix that.
Is it those the American people elect, or is it unelected bureaucrats? And I feel very strongly that the President
You mean like everybody in the cabinet? You mean like RFK Jr.?
of the United States is much better able to make these determinations. And by the way, if the American people disagree with the president, they of course can throw out the president every 4 years and
He's going to leave anyways, asshole. He's a lame duck.
throw in a new president. But you can't
That's what they do. Throw in
can't say that the American people, that the democratic decision-making process has no influence over monetary policy. That's really, really, I think, an anti-democratic principle.
John Bolton, John Brennan, James Comey, Letitia James, Adam Schiff, they're all among the current and former officials the administration is now investigating. Does the president have an enemies list?
No, not at all. I think the president has a view that we should enforce the law. And if people broke the law, then of course they should face some prosecution for doing so.
Yeah, obviously he's going to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, but
All the people that you named, they're at some level of investigation. But unlike the Biden Department of Justice, what the President of the United States has told his Department of Justice is let the facts and the law drive these decisions. If you do these investigations and it's determined that nobody broke the law, then of course you don't prosecute anybody.
Right, but you cost them millions of dollars in legal fees and stuff and stick it to them during that process.
But if you have people who broke the law, if you have people who violated the public trust, if you have people who mishandled critical information in a
So we're talking about Pete Hegseth now.
way that harmed the American people,
You mean like Pete Hegseth?
and they've committed a violation of the law in the process, of
You mean like Pete Hegseth?
course you've got to prosecute people. I think unless you prosecute people who broke the law, you don't have a real constitutional republic. So no, the president has been willing, frankly, to pardon people from the other side of the political aisle. In my hometown of Cincinnati, P.G. Sittenfeld was prosecuted by the last Department of Justice. The president issued that pardon. He's sort of a famous Democratic official. This is not about politics. This is about the law. And the
Yeah, that's why they prosecuted him, because it was about the law.
president thinks a person has been unfairly prosecuted,
Or he has a lot of money and he can make himself look good and maybe make a deal with that person after the fact.
he'll pardon that person or commute their sentence. If he thinks a person has violated the law, whether they're a Republican or a Democrat, he's going to encourage his Department of Justice to go after that person.
Encourage.
I want to turn now to the National Guard.
Sure.
Are the deployments to cities such as Baltimore and Chicago how the White House plans to fight crime?
It's an interesting question. I think the president has the legal authority to deploy the National Guard to fight crime. And obviously, we're going to do things that are in compliance with the.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you could. They can be there to supplement if there are riots or there are extreme circumstances, emergency services where the police and the firefighters and the people there are caught up in the snowstorm or the flood or the earthquake themselves. So you bring in the National Guard to make up for that. But no, the police, we do not use the military to police our cities. Trump just thinks it's cool when he goes to other countries and sees it. It looks macho to him to have people walking around with machine guns.
Legal processes of our country. But the president said a couple of times in the past couple of days that he really wants this process to be driven by the local authorities here, whether it's the state government or the
Right, and they've all told him to go pound sand. End of fucking conversation.
local mayors. And I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, look, we don't want to go in where we're unwelcome. There's a
Then call the whole thing off. Nobody is asking for this.
political reason, because what might very well happen is that these people, mayors or local governors, stand up and say, we don't want the National Guard, this is a dictatorship, Trump is a fascist, blah, 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 blah. We don't want people to...
No lies detected. Also, this is an edit was just
National Guard, this is a dictatorship,
Listen.
Trump is a fascist, blah, 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 blah. We don't want people to...
Did you hear that edit? USA Today made a cut there.
Guard, this is a dictator.
You can hear the echo of his voice stops because of the hollowness of the room, and they crossfaded into the next one.
Trump is a fascist, blah, 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 blah. We don't want people to stand
We don't. Yeah.
up before a press conference and accuse the president of being a fascist, accuse the National Guard of being part of some dictatorial coup, when in private they're actually thanking us for bringing law and order back to these communities. So there's a political reason not to do it. There's also just a basic cooperation reason to do it. I mean, look, if you look at Chicago, if you look at Baltimore, if you look at Los Angeles, these cities have murder rates that are totally unacceptable in
No, they don't.
the world's wealthiest country. We should...
No, and if you want to fix them, fix guns. Like that, I mean, any place with this many millions of people. And also, again, he's playing on the ignorance of the American people that somehow believe that because we have guns and because we have a lot of gun violence, that somehow we have the most violence in the world. Like it doesn't happen anywhere else. It's just stupid.
Should want, whether you're black or white or rich or poor, you should be able to walk down America's city streets in safety and in comfort. You should not, if you're the mom or a dad of a young kid, have to cross the street when you're walking.
If you see some creepy youth pastor looking motherfucker walking towards him that's friends with Peter Thiel.
Through San Francisco in broad daylight because there's a crazy person screaming at you on the street corner. We should
Excuse me, this is San Francisco we're talking about.
have some basic level of comfort and security in our streets.
Just basic level. We just need to round people up at gunpoint for basic reasons.
And what the president has said is if these local mayors and if the local governors want help, he is more than willing to provide it. I think that he could provide it even without their request. But fundamentally, the president, I think right now,
Nope.
now what he said is we want to work together with these localities. We want to bring law and order back to American streets. We want to make America's cities safe again, but we want to do it working in concert with local authorities. And that
That's just a lie. That is not how they're talking about it at all. Just absurd.
now is where the president is.
Right, but would they be indefinite? How long?
You're saying if we deploy the National Guard, how long would they stay?
Yes, in general.
Well, I think fundamentally that would be up to the local governors, the local authorities, in concert with the President of the United States to make those determinations. I think you obviously have to make that determination based on the local crime rates, what's happening with murder, what's happening with armed robberies, what's happening with carjackings. I mean, we don't want indefinitely to put National Guardsmen on the streets of our cities. We just want to make those streets more safe.
We don't want to. Might have to, but we don't want to.
And I think once we've accomplished that goal and created, some local foundation for the local police to continue to police those streets
locally
successfully, then I think that would sort of accomplish the goal, and that's what we would need to do. In D.C. in particular, which is, of course, the only place where we've done this, I think the president...
Because it's a federal site and you're allowed to do it. All you have to do is say you're planning some event and this is for 250 next year, by the way. Let's be abundantly clear. The reason Trump is starting this shit is because they are building towards this 250 thing because Trump thinks of this as a legacy holiday for himself.
His view is 30 days is probably not enough. If you look at how bad the crime problem has gotten here, how bad the armed robberies have gotten, how bad the carjackings have gotten, I don't think 30 days is enough. But what we really want with Washington, D.C. is to put it on a sustainable footing where the local authorities and the local police...
Trump thinks they have too many cops in D.C.
Could actually bring safety back to the streets of Washington, D.C. I think you may have been in the press conference yesterday. There were a couple of journalists who talked about being mugged on the streets of Washington, D.C. I mean, a dear friend of mine who used to live in Washington, his then girlfriend, now they're married, but when they were dating, she came back home crying because she had been mugged at a CVS in the middle of Washington, D.C. This is crazy. We don't have to accept this. I think our message to the American people is we don't have to live like this. All you need is the political leadership at the national and the local level that's willing to actually go after the bad guys and make American streets safe for Americans.
Okay, I don't know why National Guard have anything to do with that. Like arresting muggers, in front of a CVS or something where there's clear cameras and the like, and arresting someone and putting them in jail, like, and keeping them there. Like we're talking about sentencing and length of time and how seriously the criminals take engaging in crime. Like if the cost for participating in crime is higher than just getting a job or just working within the system or building your own or whatever, then you'll be okay. But the problem is the cost of getting a job and having a secure, normal life in DC has gone up, but the cost of committing a crime has gone down at the same time. The availability of guns, the no cash bail, the availability to be released on, or have your sentence cut. Nobody believes their sentence is a full sentence anymore. If you get 10 years, it means 5, which is really 3. So a lot of them think in those terms, and then they fight it the entire time. And I mean, that's the issue, that imbalance. And what Trump thinks he's going to do is like, we'll just broom all the homeless people out of here. There are too many poor people in D.C. We just got to get them, encourage them to move someplace else. That's what he's talking about through fear and intimidation.
Again.
Your critics say it's meant to be a distraction from Jeffrey Epstein. Now that you're in power, you say that there is no...
Nothing makes you feel more secure about someone's knowledge or something than a silent laugh.
...client list. Why do you think it is that so many of your own supporters don't believe you?
Well, I think what the president has said, first of all, is he's told the Department of Justice to do full transparency here, to release what we have, to release the credible information.
No, he hasn't. And credible information, who makes that determination?
I think you saw Todd Blanche just a couple of days ago actually release the 9-hour transcript of interview that he did with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Redacted.
What the president has also said is that we've got a whole host of things that we can focus on. You can both order the Department of Justice to do full transparency. You can also ask the Department of Justice to enforce the law. You can also ask the National Guard to make sure that DC's streets are safe. You don't have to do one of these things or the other. So I don't think that it's a distraction, especially when I think the president has ordered the administration to be more transparent about this.
Has he? And who? All right, then clearly someone is not following orders, and that person needs to be fucking fired. Thank you, J.D. Vance, for calling out the losers in the Trump administration who are violating the president's solemn orders when he has told them they have to be more transparent with these things, and they just aren't. They're going. I mean, how does he put up with this level of disloyalty?
Any other issue. Now, yes, I'm certainly aware that there are folks, even some of our own supporters, who have criticized the response of the president, of the Department of Justice. But
almost all of your own supporters.
But I think if you look at this in full and you give this the proper amount of time, what you're going to find is that the administration has been far more open and transparent about this issue and many others than any other administration. We have to.
No, you won't. The fucking files they put out are already readily available. The transcript was just a snow job. She got to transfer to a cush prison where she could do a work release. Are you out of your fucking mind? There aren't supposed to be any child predators in that prison, and she got moved there. It's got puppy yoga.
Remember, this entire thing happened. This entire story blew up during the Biden administration.
You mean because Ghislaine Maxwell went on trial? It didn't blow up then. It blew up when Epstein died in a federal prison awaiting trial while Donald John Trump was president.
Biden administration had 4 years to release this information. They did absolutely nothing.
They prosecuted Ghislaine Maxwell, and she was found guilty and sentenced to 20 years.
The president has actually directed his Department of Justice to release whatever information that we can, and also
Can. Not have? Any information we have? I mean, obviously within reason. You don't want to give out the victims' home addresses and their names if they've been redacted. What about Doe 147?
to go further. I mean, to talk to Ghislaine Maxwell for 9 hours to see if there are any other leads that we can uncover.
Yeah, she's a trustworthy source. Why didn't we think of that? Why don't you ask her who we should go after?
To actually identify some crimes that we can prosecute. But again, as the president has always said, we're going to let the Department of Justice
Identify some crimes that we can prosecute. God damn. You know he's like trying to find a way to look like he's on the team while still feeding little needles into the line.
Justice be driven by the facts and the law. We're not going to prosecute people just because other people want us to. We're only going
Oh, you mean like the Fed governor?
to prosecute people if they committed a crime. That's true in the Epstein situation, and that's true in a lot of other issues as well. That's why the president's focus on credibility here and the real evidence.
Oh, credibility, like Ghislaine Maxwell. So someone who the prosecutors and the judge said would lie and say anything to reduce her sentence or get out of this. Sure.
I wasn't in there then, but I was in there for your most recent meeting with the Ukrainian leader, Vladimir Zelensky.
Yep.
Your moment in February, it was contentious. In retrospect,
putting it mildly.
in retrospect, do you wish that had went differently? And has anything changed between you since then? Has your opinion changed?
You mean between my relationship with President Zelensky? I mean, look, we've had a number of conversations. They've always been positive conversations. And look,
That's not true.
sometimes people disagree. So you ask, would I change anything? I mean, do I wish that we had had a blow up in the Oval Office in public? Not necessarily. But do I think that it actually elucidated some of the real issues of disagreement between the United States side and the Ukrainian side? Yes. And I think that was useful for the American people to see.
Nope.
I think we'll continue to have these conversations. And look, there are a lot of issues of agreement between the United States and Ukraine. There are occasionally some issues of disagreement between the United States and Ukraine. And what always really bothered me about this relationship was not the Ukrainians as much as it was the American side, specifically the Democratic administration of Joe Biden. I mean, Zelensky would come to Washington. He'd leave with a $50 billion or $100 billion without any real goal, any real diplomacy, any real sense of what we were going to buy with that $100 billion.
Well, you're an idiot. That money was spent, 90% of the money was spent here, in this country. He didn't leave with that money. He left with a promise that he would get arms that were paid for with that money here in Arkansas and Louisiana and fucking Mississippi and all these places where this shit is made, and then they shipped it over there. So, and let me be really clear. J.D. Vance is stupid, but he's not dumb. He knows this. He's perpetuating a lie on purpose for the benefit of Vladimir Putin and to cover his own lazy ass. I would also like to point out that take a look at this gentleman, ladies and gentlemen, if you will, gentlemen. I'll say gentlemen one more time. Take a look at this guy and tell me that he has the ability to marshal MAGA in all of its furor and fire with a "Make America Great Again, no seriously this time, Magoo" message in 2028. This dude, this guy, can drive people, be focused and smart and sharp and a true success story, and basically the natural progeny of the MAGA experiment with Donald Trump at the helm created this perfect symbiote parasite version of itself that will weasel its way into the brains of MAGA, and they'll all just line up to follow him wherever he goes. That this guy, let's just listen for 1 second. Tell me that this guy will be able to continue MAGA as it has existed under Trump.
And that was always what frustrated me. Far more than Zelensky was asking for help from Washington, it was that the Biden administration had no plan for how to end the war, no real credible theory for how giving another $100 billion would solve the problem. And it just felt like this weird money pit where we'd throw money after the...
That guy. Seriously. Chat room. Seriously? Yeah, he has the it factor. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, it's not happening. I'm telling you. Doesn't matter. He'll be the incumbent. That's not the issue. Trump as the incumbent can put the fear of he can marshal voters against somebody in their election. Vance can't. Even as the incumbent, he can't. Trump can still kind of twist arms in terms of I'll primary you. Look at Chip Roy running for AG in the Austin area, right? That happens because Trump still has the ability to marshal the MAGA voters, and that's who Chip Roy relies on to keep him in office, right? That's not going to happen with JD Vance. Period. End of fucking story. And I gotta say, just in here? Nope. Okay, hold on. Checking something real quick before I come back. Let's go back to your dashboard right now. Let's see. Trying to fix something. Boink. Now, click on this, see what happens. I'm going to try and get Substack up another way. It's my third attempt. Fingers crossed. Something will happen. Possibly. Hey, look at that. It did work. Whoops. Oh. Let's go back to here. I think it should be up. Wonderful home. Look at that. No. When it happens, Trump. Oh, man. So I think, yeah, it's back up. Oh, yay. Okay, cool. Now I just wish I knew how to directly get to my own live stream through my own portal. It's so weird. Yeah, even by the way, on Substack, Jojo from Jersey has gotten into this. If the enhanced photo is accurate, what the fuck are we looking at here? And I think the question actually is who? Who is that? Is it Trump at all? And are they covering all of his hair because it ain't him? Because the body double, is missing the wig today. I know, I'm fairly certain Trump would want to have a body double because Putin has one, and he just doesn't want to be left out. But all right, back to this. We're coming up on the big question.
Problem without any real plan to solve the problem. That always really frustrated me. But look, we've had a number of good conversations, both me and the President of the United States with President Zelensky. We're going to keep on working for peace. And our goal, I think, just to step back a little bit, is very clear. And I think on this issue, we're pretty aligned with President Zelensky, even though we have some disagreements. We, of course, want to protect Ukraine's territorial integrity. We don't want Russia to conquer the entire country. We also want the killing to stop and think the war has reached a point where the Russians aren't really accomplishing anything by continuing to fight. The Ukrainians aren't really accomplishing anything. What's best for everybody, including the United States, would be to stop the killing and bring this thing to a peaceful settlement.
I want to turn to the rare mid-decade change.
By the way, as if that's an option. Just why didn't you say so? Oh, shit. Putin wants the whole fucking country. He wants all of Georgia. He wants Armenia and Azerbaijan. He wants Dagestan. He wants Kazakhstan. He's going to keep Chechnya, you dumb motherfucker. It doesn't matter what you want. It matters what he can take and what you let him take. That's it. For this is just so fucking bonkers. The fact that they're even talking about this as a possibility, it's just so goddamn lame. Hold on one second. I'm also going to check our YouTube situation. There we go.
To the congressional maps.
Sure.
Have you spoken about this with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, or Missouri's Mike Kehoe, or Ohio's Mike DeWine? And what if the GOP doesn't end up netting any seats at all because of Governor Newsom?
Well, I haven't talked to Governor DeSantis about it, though I think that he's doing a good job and he's doing the right thing in Florida, not just on the redistricting question, but he's been a very effective governor in a whole host of ways. I haven't talked to Mike DeWine recently about the redistricting fight, and you mentioned another governor.
Kehoe of Missouri.
No, I haven't talked to Governor Kehoe either. But look, all these guys, we've talked to officials in all of these places.
Officials. What they mean is maggot Congress people that are on speed dial. Or maggot state senators if they're really slumming.
And I think everybody understands pretty much where the White House is, which there's a fundamental question.
No, they don't. Has Trump said anything about Rudy today? Oh, because he's not able to speak?
Question of fairness. For 10, 20, 30 years, the Democrats have aggressively gerrymandered their states. I mean, look to Massachusetts. Every year in Massachusetts, yes, it's a blue state, but about 1/3 of voters in Massachusetts vote for a Republican congressional candidate. Massachusetts has 0 Republicans. Illinois, by some measures, a very massive state, yes, a Democrat state, is the most gerrymandered state in the entire country. And then California, where Governor Newsom is threatening to...
Because it's got it's got high population areas and incredibly low population areas. Unlike, say, North Dakota. How about this, motherfucker? How about this? All of the center north of the country, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, all that area, and I would include also any other state with large landmass and low population, has been gerrymandered to a Republican Senate control since inception. The Senate is gerrymandered. You guys have a bunch of seats that don't chart. There is no reason why the land mass of Montana gets 2 senators and the population of California gets 2. It's just fucking stupid. And hold on one second. Oh, thank you very much. Let's see. Hold on a second. Drink. There we go. We got a super chat goal started, whatever. Like the page came up. So ta-da, there you go. Fingers crossed. Whatever. Anyways, so check Reuters on what part? Hold on. No, it's just Reuters automatically defaults back to the last big Reuters article I looked at, which was Seymour Hersh. Who's the journalist who claims the U.S. blew up the Nord Stream pipelines? Boy, did that die a sad death. And he just kind of skulked off into fucking nowhere. Fuck you, Seymour Hersh, you stolen valor bastard. Let's see. Okay, just a lot of stuff about the CDC. Jump in here.
Gerrymander it even more, actually is already one of the worst gerrymandered states in the country. California is massive. California has millions upon millions of Republican voters every single cycle. Something like 40% of Californians vote for Republicans. 18% of California federal legislators are Republicans. So our basic contention is that Democrats have rigged the game. They've made...
Yeah, we'll get back all those Senate seats from the northern states.
It so that even when the American people vote for Republicans, they don't necessarily get Republican congressional majorities. And so we're encouraging states like Indiana, like Missouri, like Florida to go in the other direction and to actually counterbalance that democratic unfairness with Republicans playing a little bit of hardball. We think a lot of Republicans are gonna do what we think.
You think a lot of Republicans are going to lose their shit and lose their seats because of the Epstein files next year, and Trump not being on the ballot in 2028 is going to fuck you guys into a cocked hat. And so you got to rig the game your way or you're in trouble.
Is right. And we do think that on
more trouble.
Balance, this is ultimately going to make American elections much more fair and much more credible to the American voter.
You and the president have now rebranded the One Big Beautiful Bill because, as he admitted, Americans just aren't buying it. How is changing the name going to convince the roughly 10 million Americans who will be losing health care as a result of this?
Well, what the president said yesterday is that one big beautiful bill is a great name for it when it's a bill, but now it's law. And now we have to actually explain to the American people, we've got to do the job of politics and actually talk to the American people what's in the bill. And the reality is,
Now?
it's the biggest working families tax cut in a generation. It increases the
In a generation. That's adorable.
child tax credit. It eliminates
It increases the child tax credit. Yeah. Thanks, Democrats.
taxes on tips. I knew a lot of folks who depended on tips when I was growing up, a lot of single moms who waited tables who are now going to get a big tax cut because of this legislation. It eliminates
Sorry, so that male waiters don't get them, or is it just a chick thing? You think that ladies have these kind of jobs?
taxes on overtimes. I know a lot of people who work those extra 10, those extra 20 hours a week, and our view is that if you're going to work all those extra hours, the federal government ought to keep its money out of your pocket. And there's a lot of other good pieces of good tax news for the American people that we just got to talk about. We got to make sure that people are aware what's
Yeah, they're aware of those parts. They're also aware of the limitations on it. Like it only goes up to $25,000, the no tax on tips. Which, if it's a primary part of your earnings, you would have cleared that threshold anyways. You wouldn't pay taxes until you'd cleared that threshold, regardless of how you got the money.
actually in this legislation, because I think when they realize what's in it, they're going to be very gratified that their federal government is working for them. And the most important thing is we're making it easier to build a business.
What a bunch of dweebs. There's something about all these people. There's something about them that's very, there's something, what is it? What is it about this group of people that kind of stands out as a characteristic? Yeah, I'll think of it later. Can you guys spot what's curious about this particular group of people giving this thumbs up?
To create a job, to work a job in the United States of America, while simultaneously punishing people for building businesses overseas. We want to invest and save and build things in America and reward people for doing so. But if you're going to build a factory in some foreign country, that's what the tariffs do. The tariffs actually penalize you for building overseas, while the working families tax cut
No, they don't.
rewards you for building something here in the United States of America. And I think it's part of
Huh? What? The tax cuts for actual workers. If you build a factory that doesn't have any fucking workers, what difference does it make?
of a whole economic agenda that finally puts the federal government back on the side of American workers and back on the side of American businesses. So I don't think
Just political jibber jabber.
it's you asked about the healthcare question. So if you actually look at what we've done on rural healthcare,
If you actually look,
we inherited a country where the rural healthcare system in this country was completely falling apart because the Biden administration had chronically underinvested in it.
the Biden administration had chronically underinvested in the rural healthcare system. Okay. They never cut anything from rural healthcare funding anywhere. They expanded Medicare, Medicaid. The Medicaid expansion were a crucial part of that, which would lift a lot of the weight off this. They didn't chronically underfund. This is just like fantastical bullshit.
To the working families tax bill, we put billions of dollars into rural healthcare that's going to solidify some of these rural healthcare systems. And the only people who are going to lose access to federal healthcare benefits are two groups. Number one, people who refuse to even look for a job. And number two,
so you're going to interview these people?
People who don't have the legal.
People who refuse to look for a job will not have access to public health care because they don't want to, because they're missing a foot and the only jobs in their town are dog walker. What the fuck?
Right to be in this country, illegal aliens. I happen to think.
Okay. She's not talking about, there aren't 10 million illegal aliens who are losing their health care benefits.
That if you won't even look for a job and you're in this country illegally, you should not receive federal health care benefits. That is a principled disagreement with our Democratic friends, but it's a disagreement and it's something I think the American people support.
Notice how he slathered those people together. That's not a mistake. Saying, if you won't even look for a job and you're illegally in this country, as if those are the same people, as if there are 10 million illegals in this country that are living off the government tit. That's what he's selling to his people. So you know that group you hate? Okay, remember this group that you care about? Basically, I'm just talking about the overlap. You actually hate those people. That's what he's doing.
I think they're on our side, again, especially when they learn what's in this legislation that's going to help them out.
As vice president, you're a heartbeat away from the presidency.
Or an exploding vein, according to Benny Johnson.
And your boss is one of the oldest people to ever be sworn into office. You're one of the youngest people to ever be second in line. Are you ready to assume the role of commander-in-chief? And why should Americans trust you to lead the country?
Well, I've gotten a lot of good on-the-job training over the last 200 days, but also say that the president is...
What'd you learn? Golf every weekend, avoid any controversy, pretend you can solve things you can't, and when they don't go your way, get frustrated like a bitch and wander out of the meeting?
In incredibly good health. He's got incredible energy.
Oh dear.
And while most of the people who work around the President of the United States are younger than he is, I think that we find that he actually is the last person who goes to sleep. He's the last person making phone calls at night, and he's the first person who wakes up and the first person making phone calls in the morning. So, yes.
So he sleeps all day is what you're saying. He has like a window at 5 a.m. he's yelling at people, and at midnight he's yelling at people, but he's just like in bed with crackers, just like Groucho Marx all day.
Things can always happen. Yes, terrible tragedies happen.
Yes, terrible tragedies happen.
But I feel very confident the President of the United States is in good shape, is going to serve out the...
You feel confident that he's in good shape. I don't want to put too much weight on all these words because obviously this shithead is terrible at public speaking, but you feel confident that he's in good shape and will serve out his term. You feel confident.
Remainder of his term and do great things for the American people. And if, God forbid, there's a terrible tragedy.
Terrible. If God forbid, I'm called by the Lord to pick up this steely mantle off the floor of the castle and carry this land forward into the future. If that weight, that burden, and all the money and sex fall upon me, I will gladly take it on.
I can't think of better on-the-job training than what I've gotten over the last 200 days.
That's because you're stupid.
What does Usha think about you running for president in 2028?
I think she thinks what I think, which is let's focus on the job that we have right now. Let's do as good a job as possible. And if
what he means is she thinks what I tell her to think.
That door opens later on, we'll figure it out then.
Well, you have young children, and you've talked about
We do.
the privacy that the Naval Observatory affords you. I mean, is that one of the things on your mind, the public scrutiny that would come along with that?
Oh, sure. I mean, with any job.
Yeah, any job where you're trying to sneak out and have a little late night aperitif with Peter Thiel in a hotel room that was used for a Diddy party, you're going to run into, it's going to be complicated, obviously.
You have to ask yourself, what effect is it going to have on your family? And I think that this job, it does have its challenges for family life, but it also has a lot of upsides and a lot of benefits for our kids. I think they've gotten to see the country through a totally different perspective. They get to meet a lot of new
Yes, than their fellow Americans.
people. They, of course, get a Secret Service detail, which I think puts their father's mind at ease when they go out and see a lot of people, some of whom don't like their dad or don't like what I do. So I think that it's on.
What? All right. It's a bit. I mean, I'm back and forth between you'd be glad they have Secret Service protection, not because of the job, because you're the Vice President of the United States or the President of the United States, and that's a serious thing. You could affect the country by harming someone, and so in general, but what he wants to lay on the table is that there's some pussy hat wearing blue haired lady from fucking Massachusetts who's gonna hurt the children.
On balance, it's been a great thing for the family, and we'll just keep on doing as good of a job as we can for the American people, and Usha and I will keep on doing as good a job as we can at being a mom and a dad. And I think, again,
which is who's which, who does which, never mind.
It does have its challenges, but it's worked out for the kids. They're happy, they're healthy. Our kindergartner, or I should say our 5-year-old became a kindergartner yesterday, had his first day of kindergarten. And
Wow, they made it. Looks like we made it.
And yeah, we showed up to the car line with a few more cars than is normal for most families. But on balance, I think this job has been a great blessing, both for me personally, but for the family. And what I hope is that it's been a good thing for the American people, and I work every day to make sure that it is.
Well, you say you're not measuring the drapes.
Yes.
But there's quite a bit of gold over in the Oval Office these days. Is that your aesthetic? Is that how does that fit in with the hillbilly elegy, J.D. Vance of Ohio?
Well, the president obviously
Well, that was always bullshit.
has
so.
his very distinctive style, and he's made
No, he doesn't. It's not distinctive at all. It's not his own. It's the same shit Vladimir Putin smears on everything. It's Vladimir Putin's style.
billions of dollars building beautiful buildings all over the world. What I really like about the Oval Office is that it's brighter. The first time that I ever walked in the Oval Office was January 21st of this year. I was, of course, the new Vice President of the United States.
It's brighter. Jesus Christ. He's just giving himself trophies, you fucking weirdo.
It was an amazing thing. I was overwhelmed by the grandeur of the office, all of the incredible history that had been made. But if I was being honest, you know, it was the middle of winter. The drapes were closed. It was very dark. It had kind of a dark and gloomy feeling. This is the workplace of the leader of the free world. It should be a little brighter. I like what the president has done to it. And it's funny.
I think gayer is the word you're looking for. I think, you know, I mean, I don't necessarily by right. That's what. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Sorry, I don't want to get him too excited.
Yeah, we have 3 kids. We have an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old. Our 8-year-old, you know, it's funny. I think he would probably say his favorite color is blue. Our 3-year-old, her favorite color 100% is red. But our 5-year-old, his favorite color is gold. And whenever he walks into the Oval Office, he's just blown away by it because it does have this bright, lively feel. And I think it's fitting for the place where the leader of the free world comes to work every day.
I know we're out of time. The final
Will you take the White House off the gold standard?
question I have to ask you, the biggest news of the last 24 hours, Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift getting engaged. She endorsed your opponent in the last election.
She did?
Do you think that Americans just want celebrities to butt out of politics?
You know, I think by and large, people want politicians to focus on politics.
Yeah, I remember when Ted Nugent said to me, Dean Cain was at a party the other day, and
Politics, and they want celebrities to focus on whatever it is that made them famous, whether it's singing or dancing or acting. But you know, I'm a romantic. When I see 2 people who are in love getting married, I just wish them the best, and I congratulate them, and I hope they have a very long and healthy and happy life together. I will say, as a football fan, as a Cincinnati Bengals fan, I hope that the NFL does not put a thumb on the scale for the Kansas City Chiefs just because Travis Kelce is now getting married to maybe the most famous woman in the world. You guys can't sort of have this. I'm worried they're going to have like
he's trying to be cute about this.
a Super Bowl wedding thing this season. Can't do it. The Kansas City Chiefs have to follow the same rules as everybody
I love you guys. Has anybody got any Diet Mountain Dew?
else. So if we see the refs being particularly friendly to Kansas City Chiefs players, then I think all football fans should be willing to push back on the NFL and say, look, you guys got to be fair. Just because Travis is getting married to Taylor, you still can't put your thumb on the scale for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Honest to God, that's supposed to be funny. Like he's got they set that up as a bit. Like ask me about that. And he had this gag ready. Fuck, man. It's like watching Dan Quayle do an open mic.
Thank you so much for your time,
Of
Mr.
course.
Vice President.
Good to see you.
I can never get it back. Wonderful. Well, thanks everybody. It's a holiday, so I'm going to butt out right at 5. And should we check in one last time if Trump has been seen anywhere? Trump seen today, latest. Nope. They Yep, nope, that's it. This is the only one that's up there. Is this like maybe not even him? And I gotta say, the fact that his granddaughter is wearing a different outfit at the golf course, I mean, you can write it off as maybe she changed. Yeah, maybe she did, or maybe this is bullshit. I'm going with bullshit. We'll see how the week plays out, because you can't keep this up forever. And this idea that this just occurred to me, but chat room, it very well may be that this whole we didn't see Biden for weeks and nobody cared. That wasn't true. We saw Biden all the fucking time. They didn't pay attention to him because they ignored him anytime he did stuff that was impressive, and so anytime he did anything that they didn't like or proved them wrong or whatever, they just acted like it never happened, right? I think they might be feeding a line into this. This might be a leading false fact. We didn't see Biden for weeks, so who cares if we don't see Trump for a couple weeks? I mean, come on, right? That's what it feels like to me. That if he has to take 2 weeks off, or he's in Walter Reed for a couple weeks, or he goes through something, it's just, old blood vessels burst. Old people go through some stuff, and, if we didn't see Biden for months. That's what I think. That's what I think. Thank you. And I don't know if we made our goal. We shall see what we shall see. We did make it. Excellent. So, cool. Yay! All right, so it's AMA time. Yeah, we'll do a half hour Ask Me Anything. So let's rip through some stuff in here. Can we call him Stumpy? If they love us, no. You can call him Flat Tire. That doesn't look like Trump's nunt. I agree, it looks swollen. It looks like that guy's got thyroid problems. Whoever that was. His granddaughter was not in that photo. That girl was Kai's brunette. So they're just swapping people around. So she didn't even go. It's so odd. Okay, hold on. I'm going to open up the chat in a window that I can see fully so that I can... Just trying to read it off this side. Can we have a cat? Yes, I will. We'll see if one of the cats wants to jump in here and join me. You say the nut was legit? Do mics really smell? You mean like banned bar mics can? Yeah. These days, everybody cleans everything. Post-COVID, man, everything smells like a fucking wet wipe or one of those alcohol wipes. Will Vance get rid of the tariffs? The Supreme Court's going to get rid of them. Oh, I did have one banked. You're right, CSL. That's okay. I don't mind. Red hat, green gold at the White House. Yeah, I would love to see Biden dance on screen. Well, how can we get a moment of cussing puppets? I'm going to... put a video up with Matt fairly soon. So I'll do that. Thank you so much. They'll use Trump AI to keep away the awful. Well, that's the other thing, too, is that they're afraid of doing that because it'll get called out. Was that how I was working with Fall Out Boy in their music video? It was very nice. They went to my high school years after I graduated, and so it was kind of nice. I did that with my ex-girlfriend, Sam, and they reached out to her, and then they reached out to me, and it was... I don't know that they knew we were both together. It was hilarious. How's Trump's kidding? I worry about it. Kai was in the dark blue at the golf thing. Right. What does your son want to do in the future? I'll leave that up to him. Whether he wants to talk about it. Well, don't most singers have their own mics? Not necessarily. Most singers don't. Most, you just use the back line that's there. Does Hexas still have a job? Yes, but he's not doing it. Am I a pilot yet? Not yet. I'm going flying Thursday. Yeah. Nutrient, you have Doc Peterman. I did not. I'm in the Beat It Fall Out Boy video. Believe in Santa again. I never stop believing. How do you still look 30? Because a lot of 30-year-olds look terrible these days. House should have a gold mic all his own. Well, it's funny that you should bring that up. Hold that thought. I do. I have this gooseneck microphone with and mic stand that the mic runs out of the bottom of it, so that the mic plugs straight into here into the gooseneck like this, and then the plug comes out of the base, and it just happens to be gold. That's so funny that you pointed that out. I use this one when I'm at home when I'm learning songs for the jam when I have to play and sing, because it's a gooseneck on a stand. I'd lift it higher, but I'll knock that out. And then this is a pick holder, so you can place. You might see this instead of just duct taping picks to a stand, you can stick them in there like that and then pull them out when you need them. So I have one of those little like stick bags next to it just in case I need it. For yeah, what happened to the cat cam? It was on the other computer, and I still haven't hooked it back up here. Hal, you're an awesome dad. Thank you. I like to think so. It's impressively long. Well, it has to be, because you got to be able to crane it to where you are, and yeah, it works really well. Canadian Progressive, who does a weekly with Lev. It would be great, Canadian wing of sparklers, to feel represented. Be good to have him on. I'd love to have him on. Dean Blundell, sure. Yes, Lady Cab Driver. I couldn't remember what it was. Oh, Lady Cab Driver. Do you have a home studio where you practice, Hal? Sort of. So I have a studio set up here. Like my Logic, I have my guitar stuff all goes into this computer. And so I have a microphone over here that I use for real singing. And then I have this guy, that's for live. I bought that for when 01 does some stuff and I needed to play and sing again, and I've had it for a while. So I hook it into my system, and I have a little like mini amp that I plug my guitar into, and then I run the mic into a speaker, and I basically use like put karaoke or a video on screen, or if I'm trying to learn a song, that kind of thing, I will play the tab or put the tab up on the screen as the song plays, so that I can rehearse to that. Chipper and Bucky, 5 minutes, please. Yes. Okay. I will run out and grab one. Yeah, I love that song, Lady Cab Driver. We had this punk singer, overweight, older gentleman, did his set in a jock and stored the mic in his butt cheeks when he's not singing. He did not bring his own mic. Oh, what a bastard. How very punk. Hal, is your new agents booking agents? You need wider exposure. Yes, they're acting agents, which is good. Oh, thanks, Roxanne. The Flapper Show was excellent. I loved it. It was super fun. I did sing with Dennis DeYoung. Your opening scene in Extract is hilarious. Thanks. That was Nick and I got to improv a lot. Love what you have done with the all caps old timey bulletin board scroll on screen. Oh, thanks. I just felt like I needed something that was a little, outside the box, as it were. When is the Nerd Halen World Tour? I've been working on it. 9/3 Survivor speech at 10:30 Eastern time. Yeah, we'll all be watching. How do you think your son will get into acting? I don't know. I don't know. I don't put anything on him. He'll pick what he wants to do. How lots of openings, it seems, on SNL. I've thought about that. I gotta say, did I ever meet Prince? Yes, I did. He and I exchanged a nod in a Starbucks in Toronto. Have you seen Sign of the Times IMAX yet? No, we have tickets. We're going. Summer got tickets for it. Hal, have you ever been to Kentucky? You're kidding, right? I grew up there. I lived in Peaksville, Kentucky till I was 14 years old. I moved to Chicago when I was 14. Hal, out of everything, what is your favorite? I don't pick favorites because I don't have to. Always need funny people who can sing. That's true. How, when are you coming to Canada again? It's a great question. Are you and Carrot Top friends? I wouldn't call us friends. I've never really hung out with him socially. I've met him a couple of times. We're friendly. If that makes sense. But I've never I've never gone to dinner with him or anything like that. But like as comedians, like he's invited me to come see his show for free and that kind of stuff. He's very nice about it. So much thing. Am I more of an Autobot or a Thundercat? Absolutely a Thundercat. Ever checked out Tom Powell Jr. YouTube channel? I think you'd like his content. I'd like to see him guest on the show. Okay, that's great. Did Peaks Mill appreciate you? Not quite. I wouldn't say so. Do I have a Halloween costume this year? Well, I didn't. But so my just so you know, I do the Flapper show is the last Friday of every month, and the last Friday of October lands on Halloween this year, which is my namesake holiday. So they were asking, do I want to do it on Halloween or do I want to do it the week before? And I was like back and forth about it. I was like, the hell with it. Let's just do it on Halloween, and I'll have a costume contest, and it'll be you'll win for the least amount of effort that still constitutes a costume. Now, what I would be able to perform in is the question, right? That's the key. Like, I can only wear a costume so I might have made something like a Helldiver outfit because Camden likes that kind of stuff. But yeah, go as Ozzy. It's not a bad idea. That's a good one. How are you using a tanning bed? No. Summer and I went to Florida, and we were outdoors a lot, and I tan fairly well. Hal was a Sega kid. No, I had a ColecoVision, and then I had nothing. Have you ever met Kathy Griffin? Yes. Are you friends with Kathy Griffin? No. I mean, I'm like, again, I don't know what it is, but especially the alt comedy crowd, they just felt like another version of the cool kids at school when they were trying to push back against that, like Beth Lapidus and Marin and Patton and Blaine Capatch and Kathy Griffin and Margaret Cho. They would all do like Largo and all that kind of stuff. And they, I had a really good friend who was a performer regularly at Largo, Judy Toll, who was lovely. She passed away. She's always so good to me and such a sweetheart. She created Sex in the City, and they stole it from her. She created, she made the movie Casual Sex with Leah Thompson and Andrew Dice Clay and Victoria Jackson, and that became they asked her to create a pilot for making it a TV show, and that became Sex in the City, and then they screwed her out of it, and it was fairly sad. So, anyways, lovely person. She gave me my job on Nightstand, where I played Father Chip, the rock and roll priest. How does it get along with Patton? No, it's not that I don't get along with Patton. I don't know him at all. Back when I would go there, Patton and Blaine Capatch were a pair. They were a comedy duo. So I never really saw them. I only saw Blaine alone. I never saw Patton alone. I don't know that I've ever had a meaningful conversation with any of them because, quite frankly, they kind of, I was just like this long-haired friend of Judy's who did stand-up, and who the fuck are you, right? I didn't go to Hollywood High. I didn't know that. Like, hold on one second. I might be able to grab Murphy. Hold on. Murphy, what's up, buddy? Oh, he's running away. Where you going? They would love it if you would come and say hi. Yes. Murphy ran away, but Bucky is always game. He was eating, so I interrupted his eating. Sorry, buddy. That's just rude. And now he's looking at the icons as they go up the screen. It's like, what is that? This is Bucky. This is my Bucky. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Mm-hmm. What's going on? Yeah. Bucky's lovely. Do you want to get down? Okay. I'm not gonna force you to stay up. You were in the middle of eating. I apologize. But he's always game. He's so easygoing. Right? What you doing? What's it doing? Nom nom nom. You gonna go back upstairs and eat? You weren't done, were you? He's like, no. Dude, I was in mid dry food. Bucky needs his own series. This is true. He is great. He's a great cat. Did I ever? Sorry, this would. Did you ever watch Father Ted? A little bit of it. I never got into it. Do you have birthday plans? That's what Summer's been asking me. Like the 23rd, we've got the jam. So I kind of want to, like, part of me wants to have like a dinner at I don't know, the Rainbow or something down the street or something like that. That night or something. But I gotta say, like, I got so much stuff going on. It's all a swirl. It's hard to even look that far out. Yeah. He's just sitting right here. Are you just cleaning yourself up, buddy? What are you doing? What are you doing? Come here, you. Where you going? Where you going? Come here. Come here. Oh, he's just hanging around. He's just hanging around. Like a buddy. You are. You're just hanging around like a buddy. You are. You're such a good buddy. There you go. Yeah. What's that? You could bat the string. No. Hi. Yeah. September 19th, International Talk Like a Pirate Day. Excellent. Yeah. Bucky needs his own YouTube channel. It's true. Chip's good. All right, there you go, buddy. Yeah. He's going to start batting things around on the floor. Chip's good. He's upstairs. Star Wars or Star Trek? Do you ever play Magic the Gathering? Never played Magic the Gathering. I love the ethic of Star Trek and the emotion of Star Wars. It's a shame that they never quite got it together. You could argue that Battlestar Galactica kind of fused those two. If I had to choose, I'd say Galaxy Quest. Hey, Hal, totally get it. Worked on my birthday. Yeah, it's and I don't know when I'm gonna like find out that I have work. It's always been a part of my life. Is like planning. This is one of the things I will say is a blessing of doing this show. It's the closest thing I've ever had to, as an actor or performer, sort of consistent work in that regard. Where you can tell. It's like knowing your season pickup. Like, I can always do this no matter what happens, which is very curious. That doesn't usually happen in the entertainment world. It was never a thing. That's why I'm so grateful for it. For real. But I still, act, and we still have, Nerd Halen shows and stuff like that. And we're trying to get that, like book more shows, and some of it can come up at the last second. And so my life is always like, it's always like I have a movie on pause. Like there's something like right over here that I might need to turn back on. It's just how it's always been. Just always has been. Hi, what are you doing? What's he doing? What are you doing? Come here. What is he doing? Where are you going? Come here. Okay, all right. He's going back upstairs. I had to shut the door because he's like batting every wire. So did Guy have the last have a last name? Yeah, he did. At the end of it, they show what his name is. Like when he's, let's see, Hold on. And it might not. It's one of those things where it looks like, Guy Fleegman was his name. They show like the hey picture at the end of it when Rock Ingersoll was his character that they gave him. He became the security chief, Rock Ingersoll, and but his name is Guy Fleegman. The show's a cat. I did. All right. Yeah. Cold Comfort Farms, great movie. Excellent. I heard farmers. How's your new agent? They've been great so far. Do you have eidetic memory? I have the next best thing. Have you ever had dogs as pets? Yes, I had a dog when I was a kid. He was put down for biting the mailman because he thought the guy was trying to attack me. And he may have been right. In retrospect, the more I think back on that time where the guy walked off the path and went over to touch me, like he touched my head while I was sitting in the yard, which was really odd. And my dog bit him for touching me on, like, trying to, like these days, that's just sketchy as shit. So I was very upset about that. And we've had cats ever since. Yeah. Where do you rate Spinal Tap? I mean, the GOAT. How do you have a booking agent or you do it yourself? For Nerd Halen, we have to do it ourselves. We almost had one, but Caleb nixed it. Because he's heard stories. And I've always been especially in the entertainment industry, I've always been a big believer in 80% of something is better than 100% of nothing. And it's just how the system works. It's just how, So how's the only entertainer who longs for a 9 to 5? I would do a 9 to 5 performing, which is kind of what this is, because I get to say stuff that's meaningful to me and talk about stuff that's meaningful to me, but I also get to be funny at the same time and do characters and voices, and that's when it gets really fun. Bicycle Mike, welcome home. I hope I guess you're better than you were, so yeah. Here, 4 orphaned mice at the moment. Are you in a prison cell in the movie Papillon? Does Nerd Halen cover Dancing in the Streets? Yes, we've done it. Did Caleb rebuild Al? No. How long do you think Trump has left? I'd say less than a year. Yeah. Honestly, like, it's not looking good. I think you should try to do it all in a specific box. That's exactly right. I mean, back in the old days, in the 30s and 40s, an actor had to dance and sing and do stand-up and comedy and talk on television and do radio and all these things. And it was just understood. You had to do all of it. And now everybody gets so hyper-specialized, you can't even play characters you haven't played before. And I just think that's ridiculous. I didn't let Ficus out. He got out on his own. Dead by Halloween, that's the theory? Think already? Here's the thing. If it did happen, it happened this weekend. Because so many came from vaudeville. That's right, CSL. But the idea also was that it showed you were a star, that you could dance, and if you could keep up with the specialty acts. So they would bring in a specialty tap dancer or something, and then the actors had to do the routine with them. It was incredible. And I gotta say, I'm a better dancer than Christopher Walken. I'm just gonna say it. How are the tap dancing lessons going? My mom gives them to me every time she's here for the summer. Will you be covering the Epstein-Trump victims' testimony on Wednesday? Yes. Does Vegas have a POTUS Deadpool? I'm sure they do. I don't gamble because I chose a life in the theater and I did pretty well, so I've walked away from the tables with my earnings. I don't need to tease fate. Although I did buy lottery tickets for summer when I was driving back from LA last night in the middle of the night, because there's this little store that everybody buys them at on the California border, where you can still buy California lottery tickets. And so I was like, oh yeah, I guess it's like 2:00 in the morning, and there's like a small line of people trying to buy them. Because I think it's tomorrow, I want to say. That's right. So a bunch of people come in and they try to buy them. They drive down and get them. Doing any plays yet? Not yet. That's something I've talked to them about, that I want to do a musical. I just don't know which. I mean, I would love to do Spamalot, and I would love to do Rock of Ages. Obviously, that stuff is in my wheelhouse. I'm pretty certain I could do, pretty sure and certain, so certain. I'm pretty certain I could do Phantom of the Opera or those. Glengarry or Glenn Ross, it'd be all right, yeah. Final question, Sparks. How many inches? One more than I've ever needed. Want you to run for president? I am in 2028. Fear not. Jesus Christ Superstar. That'd be good. Yeah. I love that Corey Glover was in it. He played Judas in it, and he was fantastic. You should bring your show to Ireland. I've thought about that too, McSwale. I've thought about the fact that, like, but for the cats, Summer and I, because we both are online right now in what we do, we could kind of do it anywhere. And so there might be a point where I take my rig and stay for like 2 weeks in, Europe or Ukraine or something like that, do the whole show from there as normal, but there, right, in that environment, right? So that's the thought. Have you ever written a sitcom? I've written like 3. I think it'd be great in a revival of The Music Man. Oh, okay. Are you going to see Wizard of Oz at the Sphere? At some point, I think so, yes. Yes, Summer got us tickets. Am I old enough to run for president? Of course I am. You have to be 35. I'll be 56 this month, ladies and gentlemen. Judas does have the best songs. That's right. That's why they picked him, because he's, Corey Glover. Can I just say, Corey Glover, the lead singer of In Living Color, is just Living Color. First of all, masterful voice. Also, fucking awesome guy. Just such a lovely human being. Just loving and sweet, and every experience I've ever had talking to him, hanging around with him, both at the Jam, and he's friends with Doug as well. And so we've met a few times. We've got to have real sit downs. It's funny. Like, I've never had dinner with Carrot Top, but I've actually broken bread with some fairly big rock stars, and it's pretty spectacular. My big goal, though, is that I want to have, like, I'm very jealous of Richard Marx having that long sit down with Paul Stanley, and I got to make that happen. Yeah. P.S. You just turned 55. Stop it. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you, CSL. I'm free. Well, Richard Marx is a lot more famous than you. That's debatable. Depends on who you're talking to. Yeah, I got a whole legion of Lab Rats fans out there, and you wouldn't believe how many of them there are. It's pretty spectacular, including a couple of Paul's kids. So, Corey Glover was in the Foxhole with Charlie Sheen in Platoon. Yes. Kiss going to do the Kennedy Center? Yes, I'm fine with it. I think yeah, I don't know if they're going to do it or whatever. I think it's going to, oh, we'll see. We'll see if Trump's going to be alive to do it. Oh, that'll be weird, wouldn't it? Oh, Casey, thanks. See the new South Park episodes? I have. Nope, Hallie's way more famous. Yeah, but in what realm? Don't worry, we're good. That's the thing. We both do okay. We're both Chicago boys. I'm playing. The Richard Marx, by the way, is incredibly funny, really talented as a musician and a songwriter. He's one of those people where you're like, oh, he wrote that too? More famous than Kevin Sorbo. Kevin who? So rude. But yeah, when will I announce? I kind of already have. It's like a soft launch, but I'll officially do it in 27. Probably 26, late 26. Christopher Doc Hayes. Gene's politics are not Kiss's politics, for the record. My kid liked you in Attacking the Power of Juju. Thank you very much. I'm very proud of that. It's a good show. I almost ruined my speaking voice doing it because of all the screaming. We'd had to do entire screaming sessions so I could still do my lines as Tack the rest of the time without wearing myself out. They might be giants and dead milkmen make me happy. Oh, good. Who's Devin Sorbet? Yeah, I don't know. You never watched Lab Rats? You feel so ashamed. You're not quite the demographic, Trucker John. Don't worry about it. Great with George Strait refusing his Kennedy Award. Yeah, it's so weird that they think they're trying to like steal your thunder and align themselves with it, and you feel like they're using your fame and your legend to borrow that valor is what it feels like Trump is trying to do. Richard Marx is amazing. He is. He's really funny. He's really funny. But Lab Rats is on Disney XD. If you have the Disney Plus channel, you can watch it there. I'm very proud of the work. It's very fun. Where we get the funding to run for president, I'm going to do it using an entire AI setup. It's not going to cost me anything. The only thing that will cost money is door knocking and getting my signatures. And I might be able to work around that. Did I play D&D? Do you still play D&D? I don't really have anybody to play D&D with except Jason Charles Miller. So the last time I played with him was before COVID. But he had a show and we did that, yeah. Is Gloria Gaynor MAGA? I have no idea. That's hilarious. Not a Hal for my Joe. Not sure why the actress who played your wife wasn't in the opening credits. Angel, yeah. Because when they first signed her on, I don't think she was a regular, because it focused on the inventor and the kids fighting crime and stuff, and so we weren't spending as much time in the house. Eventually, she was. Yeah, Angel Parker, she's amazing. I adore her. She's a lovely human being. I was very lucky to be married to her on the show. So, I always get Lab Rats and Brain Candy mixed up. That's not bad. I love the movie Brain Candy. There's a few movies that are just like, that were hard to find for a while. Brain Candy's one of them. Now it's on Amazon, I think. It's terrific. And I saw the director's cut, the Kelly Macon director's cut. He used to direct shorts, on, their non-audience, more filmic stuff that they did on Kids in the Hall. And he directed episodes of Queer as Folk. He was fantastic. I love Kelly Macon. And he directed the Kids in the Hall Brain Candy movie. And the original, I would love to see the director's cut released of that. It would be fantastic. Gloria Gaynor donated $1,000 to Republican campaigns in between 2023 and 2025. According to Federal Election Commission, including Win Red and Mike Johnson, Ben Carson, Josh Hawley, and Nick Page. Sounds like she's a Christian, extremist in that. Exposes MAGA donor after Trump taps her 4 days ago. The disco music legend donated $22,000 to right-wing candidates and conservative organizations. Well, the irony. How do you keep in touch with Gail, Scott, Randy, Robert, Peter, and Sharon? I keep in touch with with Robert. I see the other ones, but I keep in touch with Robert and Bobby Gant. For those of you who don't know, Bobby Gant played my husband on Queer as Folk. And he's a wonderful human being. And I guess hold on. Yeah, Gloria Gaynor sang "I Will Survive," so probably the biggest gay anthem ever. Did you retire Ficus because you're woke as fuck? Why would he be? You don't think he's? I think Ficus is more woke than I am. Can you still watch Queer as Folk? You mean personally or online? It's on the Showtime app. I think it might even be available through a bunch of different sites. But yeah, you can find it. Do you enjoy the Rockford Files? I love the Rockford Files. I have Dr. Bosca was my that I got my flight certificate from. Hold on. I gotta sneeze real quick. Dr. Bosca, who was my doctor for my flight certificate, was James Garner's doctor. And when I went down there, they like when you have to get your flight certificate, all the guys at the flight school said, "Yeah, go down and see Dr. Bosca. He'll give you your certificate, but he'll chew your ear off. So just don't talk to him just because he'll blab about shit, and it'll be your whole day." And I went down there and I looked on the walls. There's all these pictures of him and James Garner, and I was like, "What this is?" And he goes, "Yeah. Jimmy was a buddy of mine, and I was his doctor till the end, and then it was just lovely." And we had I didn't want to leave. We had a great conversation, and occasionally in the Rockford Files, they'll mention Rocky, his dad, will mention Dr. Bosca. He's a real dude. Dr. Bosca's a real human being. They would mention James Garner's real doctor in real life as a doctor, and he's in Santa Monica. Do we know enough about Peter Thiel? I mean, we know that he's very fixated on whether or not he might be the Antichrist, so no. It won't matter, though. He's got his own fish to fry. There are a couple of those people that are going to eat themselves Elon Musk style, and Peter Thiel is one of them. This asshole is going to try to upload his brain, and it's not going to go well. If you like Rockford Files, you like Nichols, it's on YouTube. Excellent. Mariska Hargitay. Wasn't her mom Mae West? Something like that? Rockford was so meta. Well, that whole thing where at the beginning of The Simpsons, when Bart Simpson's writing something different on the board every time, the progenitor of that in a lot of ways was the fact that there was a different message on Rockford's machine every week. At the beginning, it would go, "This is Jim Rockford. At the tone, leave your name and message, and I'll get back to you." And beep, and there would be some like cute joke message. My favorite one was, "Jim, it's Artie, your accountant. You were right. Your IRS refund check bounced." Jane Mansfield, thank you very much. I knew it was one of those. You guys all know it. Look at that. Bang. Yeah, just thinking of the answering machine. And that was a big deal, CSL. Remember? The huge thing about is that he had an answering machine. Like, oh, shit. The irony, and there was also a joke to it that I think you would miss in the modern era when we don't have answering machines and people just leave a message on your phone. But that he had an answering machine, which was fancy pants, but he lived in a trailer on the beach. Like, it was as if, like, he spent the money he would have had to on an apartment to get an answering machine. One of my favorite things is the scene where, in like side scenes in Mindhunter, is where the female psychologist, their partner, gets an answering machine because she doesn't want to take calls from her ex. Have I changed your mind about ending the war on drugs? I had deep seek AI do some research. 2 to 3 people have died in the war on drugs, conservatively estimated. Yeah, Groove Dragon. That's like saying all the people who've died of overdoses since we've shifted our stance don't count as people. They were going to die anyways. You can't save everybody. The war on drugs wasn't lost; it was surrendered, and largely because for the same reason we left Afghanistan. It's not ground worth saving. If people are going to get high and die of an overdose, there's been a policy amongst like a bunch of people, mostly in states, to just let them die. We caused ourselves way too much trouble fighting it off, trying to help them, getting them in rehab. It's passive eugenics. I think the war on drugs was a legit attempt, by and large, and it was bastardized by other people, but a legit attempt, by and large, to deal with the health impacts of illicit drugs killing people. And then they just decided, why are we trying to save these people? How do you dig the irony of your old bit about making up new words and then you coined nunt? There's a difference between coining one and making up a word that is that's an ironic comedy word. Unsweetened is just a lie. See what I mean? That's not a thing. I would argue that that you can make up ironic, like acronym-based things. That's fine. I went way over. It's okay. I love you guys. Cannabis on Schedule 1 was always a deadly mistake. I agree, it was a mistake. The majority of the kids in your DARE class did drugs with you. Well, DARE was set up as by Gates, or whatever, the LAPD chief, the guy who was behind the Rodney King beating, as a way to get informants, turned basically high school kids into informants. Yeah. All right, I'm going to go and eat something because I drove back from LA last night and I got in about 2 hours before the show. Had a nap this afternoon, and I got to rest my voice, or I'm not going to be able to speak the rest of the week. So should it be non-sweetened? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It should just be tea. You don't even have to say anything about it. There's tea and sweet tea. If you say tea, it's not sweet. It's tea. You don't need another word. God damn it. All right. Yes, I did stream on a holiday because I adore you guys, and I will see you later on tomorrow afternoon. And then, yes, I'll set up a thing where we can, it might mean being on earlier than usual on Wednesday for some of the stuff. So we'll figure that out. Yeah. If that works for you guys. Okay. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else.
It's my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Groovy.
I'd like to kick his ass just before.
You're like a Kentucky Fried Idiot.
Take off, eh? It's good to be the king.
We've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
I'm dead sexy. I'm a land farmer, motherfucker.
Throw me a frickin' bone here. I'm the boss.
Nice. Not thrilling, but nice.